We saw 6 of 7 GOP incumbents in the Indiana Congress lose. Tuesday's results follow endorsements by President Trump for all challengers after the state legislature stood against his plan to redraw congressional maps to give Republicans more of an edge in upcoming federal elections. In Ohio, Trump-backed Vivek Ramaswamy won the Republican primary in the state's governor's race. The FBI and the banking industry renewing warnings about the newest techniques that scammers are using.
Using information gleaned from the dark web or from legitimate data brokers, scammers posing as federal agents are calling victims firsthand.
When somebody is calling and pretending to be the FBI, the victim thinks that they're in trouble, so they're already frazzled.
Robert Richardson is with the FBI's Chicago field office.
The criminal then starts rushing them more.
Rushing them to transfer money out of an account the victim thinks has been hacked and into an account that turns out to belong to the scammer. The FBI took nearly 200,000 complaints about spoof phishing last year. Jim Ryan, ABC News.
Some of the beagles from Ridgeland Farms heading to Waukesha County. The Humane Animal Welfare Society says up to 20 dogs will arrive at its shelter early next week. Hawes spokesperson Jennifer Smeha tells Wisconsin's Afternoon News.
Take plenty of time with them to see what are their trigger points. What are they finding difficult to adjust to? If we find that a bunch of them are just excited and happy and are adapting really well, we're going to get them up for adoption as soon as we possibly can.
Last week, Ridgeland Farms agreed to sell 1,500 dogs to rescue groups and surrender its state breeding license to avoid criminal prosecution. CNN founder Ted Turner, an outspoken and often outrageous television pioneer, has died at the age of 87. The brash Southerner owned sports teams, was a champion yacht racer, and married to actress Jane Fonda for 10 years. He was one of America's most extensive landowners and became a prolific philanthropist, donating $1 billion to the United Nations. Time for news about your money in the WTMJ Annex Wealth Management Market Update. Markets are up. Dow is up 656 points. NASDAQ up 355. S&P 500 up 86. Financial planning at every level. Annex Comprehensive Wealth. Annex Private Client. Annex Ignite. Details at annexwealth.com. Sports, traffic, and weather up next. Outdoor Living Unlimited. WTMJ News Time 10:05.
Spring into better vision at Shopko Optical. Vince Vitrano here. All starts with a comprehensive eye exam from a skilled optometrist. Takes a look at your eye health and overall well-being. Need glasses, contacts, maybe both? At Shopko Optical, get expert care and the perfect eyewear for your lifestyle, all in one convenient visit. Locations throughout southeast Wisconsin. I go to the one at Hales Corners. Call Shopko Optical or visit shopko.com to schedule your exam. Shopko Optical, partners in your eye care.
Hey, better. Swing into Potawatomi Casino Hotel Milwaukee for the $300,000 Big League Series. Just play with your rewards card over 3 months to earn entries. Here's the lineup. Leading off April, on deck May, in the hole June. All monthly entries you earn will roll into drawings on Friday, June 26th, where you could win cash, free play, or one of 3 new Toyota vehicles. It's the $300,000 Big League Series, only at Potawatomi. More info online. Must be 21 and a rewards member to play.
Prizes, flyaways, even cash money. You want it? We've got it. Find a list of all contests and official rules by visiting WTMJ.com/contests.
That's WTMJ.com/contests.
Hey everybody, Debbie Lozica here for Comfort Awnings. This year, reclaim your outdoor space like I did. Having the option to extend our awning when that summer sun gets too hot or when it's raining has been a game changer, and it allows my dogs, husband, and I to enjoy our patio every season. Right now, get up to $500 off any awning or screen. That's right, get 10% off up to $500 until the end of the month. Call 414-AWNINGS or visit comfortawnings.com to learn more.
Take your mother to the magnificent Mother's Day brunch at the historic Fox and Hound Supper Club near Holy Hill. The spring drive through Kettle Moraine Forest is spectacular. Kids and grandkids under 3 eat free. Google, call, and reserve your family table today.
Time for a WTMJ Sports Update from the Gruber Law Office's One Call That's All Sports Desk. Brewers had their game washed out Tuesday. Milwaukee's middle matchup with the St. Louis Cardinals postponed due to bad weather. Teams will wrap up their series today and make up the game July 7th. Packers investing in the future of girls flag football in Wisconsin. Team awarded $100,000 in grants to 20 high schools to help launch girls flag football programs. Schools in Milwaukee, Madison, Racine, Cedarburg, and Burlington among the recipients. Packers say the goal is to continue growing girls flag football and eventually make it a sanctioned high school sport statewide. Take a look at the roads now with your WTMJ Time Saver traffic. 41 slow northbound from North Avenue to about Burleigh. I-94 East is heavy from the 173 interchange to about 32nd Street.
Find furniture for life from Ken Michaels Furniture in Brookfield, Greenfield, or downtown Milwaukee. Milwaukee Mattress, where top quality mattresses are priced hundreds less than premium national mattress brands. Found exclusively at Ken Michaels Furniture in Brookfield, Greenfield, and downtown Milwaukee.
Here's your WTMJ 5-day forecast. Partly cloudy, 54 today. Cold overnight, maybe some frost possible, low 38. Chance of afternoon and evening showers tomorrow, high Thursday, 56. Chance of rain Friday, high 62. Sunny on Saturday, then storms in the evening, high 66. And Sunday, Mother's Day, a chance of rain early with a high of 58. Right now, 45 in Madison and Green Bay, 49 in Milwaukee. I'm Connie Weber. Outdoor Living Unlimited, WTMJ News Time, 10:08.
Broadcasting live from the Annex Wealth Management Studios at the Avenue. It's time for Point Taken. Here are your hosts, Steve Scafidi and Kristen Bride.
And good morning, everybody. Happy Wednesday. You know, Kristen.
No hump day music?
No, we sort of phased it out like
Oh, wow.
Yeah.
I did not agree to this, by the way.
It was a whole thing, and I'm like, you know, but careful with that mic. You're going to break that mic.
I think they fixed it.
All right, good. We just moved on.
Oh, wow.
Yeah. Part of a new philosophy I have, which I'll share to you maybe on overtime sometime.
Well, we're doing our overtime today.
Yeah.
We're talking about on
That's a good one.
our good one. Who makes better parents, liberals or conservatives?
Yeah. I did homework on this one too.
I know you're the one who found the clip.
Yeah.
So we will get into it.
Yeah.
And define what better is.
And I don't want to give away too much, but I think my answer might surprise people because I consider myself pretty by the book and old school in many ways, but my answer may surprise you. So that's the only tease I'm going to give you.
Oh.
All right. What if I told you, Kristen, this is going to be my segue. Maybe in this world, this wacky world, I'm being facetious, that we live in now, maybe you could just end a war with a memo. A one-page memo that ends the war in Iran. Would that surprise you, shock you? What would it do to you?
Well, I think it's a little bit more than just a
I don't know.
memo, but it's like
in this administration, you think it's more than that?
Well, it's a MOU.
Memorandum of
Understanding.
Yeah.
And so as of this morning, the Project Freedom is on pause.
It started as like the Fury was in the name, right?
Project Fury, but then Project Freedom became freeing the Strait of Hormuz.
Because the nicknames are really important when we're fighting wars around the world.
Yeah, and so that so there is progress being made in negotiations. So thus, Project Freedom has been pulled back, and it sounds like things, as they've continued to be, are very delicate, but potentially moving towards this 14-point memorandum that has the negotiation and the compromise to finally bring this to an end. But like I said, it sounds like this is at least from reporting from Axios, conflict within the Iranian government as far as they are not all on the same page, and so needing to build consensus there. But in general, still very fragile. Nothing is certain.
So I'm going to both sides of this one. One, I'm happy that hopefully more lives, more injuries won't happen as a result of this war, and which I think, and I've said it before on the show, I think it was sort of not planned out well or executed properly. But I'm happy that that could be the end result. Commerce can continue through the Strait of Hormuz. That's apparently part of this as well. But when I look at some of the bullet points here, the one that I sort of get stuck on is that we're going to release billions of dollars of their frozen funds. So they sort of win on that one, don't they? I mean, that's causing havoc in their country.
I think that's the thing of understanding how does this end. If let's say we get to an end point today or this week, the messaging of what we've gained as a country to make this all have seemed worth it. And it will come down to messaging, right? Because and who's delivering the message? Because I think to a certain extent, at least what I understand, it's not super clear beyond how much you buy into how close they were to, they being Iran, to getting a nuclear weapon, right? Like that's the big unknown as far as like how much was an imminent threat versus not being an imminent threat.
And to answer the question about popularity, because everything is measured now, and I know the president doesn't like the polls, but it's essentially 2-1 people thinking this war should not be fought. But I think most people understand that we don't want more countries to have nuclear weapons, and we don't especially want this country, given some of the rhetoric involved, some of the issues that swirl in the country of Iran when it comes to hatred towards the United States.
Have you heard much of that, like where Israel stands?
I have not. Other than they're generally Netanyahu's administration is generally supportive of Donald Trump's policies. I mean that.
But they were not a fan of the ceasefire when it first was negotiated.
No, because they wanted to. And there's many people, and you know this. Many people thought that basically Netanyahu pushed Trump into.
I don't think
war.
it was thought. I mean, Maggie Haberman reported on that as far as like their PowerPoint presentation that was saying we can go in and do this easily.
Curious what you think. 855-616-1620. I mean, yeah, I'm encouraged by the fact that we may not have more hostilities, which means damage to property, damage to lives, people hurt. At some point, whatever you think about the people of Iran, it's a huge country that is sort of hopefully starting to understand that severe repression of its citizens is not the way to go. But let's just be honest. In the I'm old enough to know when it wasn't like it is now. That's what I'm saying.
Oh.
Yeah, in 70s, it was a free country, essentially.
Kind of, but the Shah was still
women had rights.
Dictator.
Before that, women had rights. They could go to college, and they don't have many rights now. And it was it's much more restrictive now than it ever was back then. That's all I'm saying.
Yes, but part of the revolution was because the Shah was a brutal dictator.
The original Shah of Iran. Yeah.
Yeah, before the revolution.
Yes. But so that area, that opportunity for what it could be, I'm hopeful at some point it could go back to that. So the post-Shah period where...
But you also know we put the Shah into power, right?
We've done a lot of crazy things.
Yeah, as far as like because basically before the Shah, they wanted to...
we also, our country... not related, but our country also supported apartheid in South Africa for a long time. So, I mean, we have an ugly legacy of doing the wrong thing at the wrong time. It's like,
well, we have an ugly legacy of putting people in power that are pro-America.
But I don't want people to misunderstand me. If there's the end of hostilities, I'm a big fan of that. And if we can, because this is killing us, farmers, consumers, that we don't have commerce going through the Strait of Hormuz. This has to be fixed.
No, I think most of us, especially when you see the 2/3 saying we should have never done this, means we should all want to get out of this as quickly as possible. I just don't know how you reframe this as a win and not a huge political loss. How much will have to have been gained in the negotiations to be able to really sell this as having been worth it?
Are you asking how the president's going to sell it or how I'm going to sell it?
Well, you're not going to sell it.
No.
It's not your job.
No, but I told you what I think the positives are. The president's going to say we won because he said it 20 times in the last 8 weeks. And we haven't won. Otherwise, we wouldn't need a memorandum of understanding if the war's over, in which he's told us, I don't know how many times he said that. So, again, ending a war with a memo, even though I'm being facetious or stretching this, it seems rather silly to me that we've lost lives, lost assets, military assets, significant injuries. And I asked this to Bill and Joe on Friday. There's a lot of people in the world of journalism that are still saying that some of our losses are being underreported when it comes to military assets, people, injuries. And I'm going to ask them again this Friday because that's significant. If this administration is not telling the truth on what actually happened in this war, I've got a problem with that.
Yeah, I mean, Washington Post reported this morning that Iran has hit far more U.S. military assets than reported. Satellite images show.
But both gentlemen on Friday, and Joe and Bill can correct me if I'm wrong, said, I don't believe that. How's that stand? Quick break.
We'll ask him again Friday.
Kristen and Steve, point taken. 620 WTMJ.
I'm Mark Olson with Redo Cabinets. Redo Cabinets is a family business serving homeowners for over 70 years. Now we're in Milwaukee and ready to share with homeowners the benefits of refacing and not replacing those old kitchen cabinets. At Redo Cabinets, we use premium cabinet facings made right here in the USA. You select from dozens of colors, styles, hardware choices, and accessories. And during our Memorial Day event, you could get big savings. 50% off installation of a kitchen remodeling project and a free sink and faucet. Plus, no payments and no interest until 2027. That's right, 2027. Incredible savings. Redo Cabinets, 414-677-6417. That's 414-677-6417. Or visit us at redocabinets.com. That's redocabinets.com. Serving homeowners for over 70 years in Illinois and Wisconsin. Don't replace, reface with Redo Cabinets.
Acumen Mortgage is an equal housing lender. NMLSConsumerAccess.org, number 255368.
Don't settle for a flimsy bank pre-approval. Get the pre-approval listing agents and sellers recognized as better than the rest. The rock-solid guaranteed pre-approval from AccuNet. Get yours by clicking on the blue button at accunet.com.
Eggland's Best. The only eggs with more fresh and delicious taste, plus superior nutrition. Eggland's Best. Better taste, better nutrition, better eggs.
You can't beat Berghardt. Sports lovers love us. Get the help you need Saturday morning with How To Radio. At 7, it's the WTMJ Fix It Show with David Nason, featuring this week's guest, Capital Heating and Cooling. At 9, plan your dream vacation with the Fox World Travel Show. And at 10, get financial guidance during Money Talk. Contact Annex Wealth Management for an unbiased review of your investments at annexwealth.com. How To Radio, Saturday mornings on WTMJ.
It is a Wednesday on 6 WTMJ. She's Christian Bryan. These videos, Point Taken, the award-winning Point Taken show and podcast that we do. And we'll be doing another one this afternoon, as we mentioned earlier.
Speaking of which, because we're out early today.
Yes.
We're out at 11:30 for the Brewers, but we're also moving Ask Us Anything to our podcast. So if you have a question for us, you can now submit it. We have a standing form, an Ask Us Anything form. Just text ASK, A-S-K, to 855-616-1620 if you have a question, and then we're going to record it today, and we will email you the podcast so you can listen to it.
Yeah, and then there'll also be some, we'll talk about in the next segment, all of these things that we talk about, the podcast and all the extra content available on our newsletter. So all of this stuff's related as you listen to the show. If you're a new listener, first of all, thanks for listening. Because somebody, you were gone last week, and they emailed me and said, "Where's Kristen?" They had listened for the first time the week before. I go, well, she's on vacation. I take a lot of vacations. Kristen takes not many vacations. But I said, it's sort of a different show on our lineup because most of our shows are news specific, right? They're news, many people journalists. We're not that. We both present the news, political news generally, but we do culture stuff.
Discuss the news.
And then we talk about it as like two normal human beings, which sort of makes it unique in this market because we're not one-sided. But anyway, so thanks for the email. And we do a lot of great content both on the show, I'm pat myself on the back, and us. But we also do some great stuff for the newsletter and in the newsletter and on our overtime. And we're going to start doing daily video content.
I know, we got to figure out what that is.
Yeah, we're still work in progress. Anyway, you want to make a point about Indiana? They had their state senate races yesterday.
Well, so we were talking about how most polling shows that this war in Iran, very unpopular. In general, the Trump administration, least popular it's ever been. And still, in Indiana, they had their primaries yesterday, and Trump and his allies had made put a lot of money into primary challengers for the state senators who had decided not to redistrict Indiana.
That was one of the early ones that he lost on.
And it was very successful.
Yeah.
I think it was 6 out of 7 or 7 out of 8.
I thought 5 of 6, but I don't know the number. It was almost universal.
It was almost universal, and by 20 to 30 points in some of these races as far as how much the challengers beat the incumbents. And so clearly, at least with a base of Republican voters in Indiana, and Indiana is very red, still very supportive of Trump. And so I'll be interested to talk to Bill and Joe on Friday of, is that an outlier case? Or does that tell us anything about midterms? As far as when we talk about declining approval numbers for Trump, and we're like, who still supports him? Here's case in point.
I would say Indiana's an outlier. I would say that they had a legislature makeup that wasn't necessarily representative, again, anecdotal, of what the state generally, they're a pretty red state. Especially when you get out of Indianapolis.
And the state senate, they were all Republicans.
Yeah.
They just between
didn't like
Mitch Daniels and who was a former governor.
Trumpers. That's the difference.
But they all voted for him, right? Like a lot of the times when
a lot of Republicans who voted for Trump that aren't really Trumpers.
Yeah, and so but they stood their ground as far as redistricting, and now they have paid the price for it.
And I don't know the timing of this, whether they could revisit that idea with a new, I don't think the timing would work for this next midterms, but I mean, in the future, it could help Republican candidates, or I should say MAGA candidates. It's an interesting way to look at things that if you don't like the rules, you just shuffle the cards and redo it. I mean, that's sort of what my takeaway is. But I also say to people, because people know I'm not a fan of the president, he's still very popular among some people. I'm not going to pretend that's not the case. I hear from them. I have friends and family who still support the president. So that's not going to go away anytime soon.
Which is then interesting to see the bigger, so this obviously the redistricting thing is at the state level, and Republicans in that state not delivering on a request by the president. Do you think that means anything for the SAVE Act? It's kind of been quiet as far as what's happening with that, but
it's
a
not
bill.
Dead,
it's not dead,
but
a bill that's very popular,
and
and a lot of Republicans, especially Trump's base, is pushing for as far as how important it is. Not a lot of movement. Thune has said he does not have the votes.
Right.
So is that something that Republican voters are angry enough about to make a point in any kind of primary challenge?
Maybe. I mean, the SAVE Act, in some form or fashion, stripping out some of the more extreme stuff like birth certificates and, marriage certificates, that's not going to fly anywhere. It would be, it is being
jailing city clerks.
Yeah, it's just that kind of stuff. If they could somehow get it back down to, and most of this is legal in anywhere, voter ID, like show your driver's license, that's different. That's a much different thing than the extremism that's represented in the SAVE Act. If they get back to what I think most people support voter ID.
They do. I mean, polls show that.
Yeah, that would be something that they could actually pass. But again, this version of Republicans that I often criticize, they're not interested. They want everything, including making it extremely difficult for for some people to vote.
For people who've changed their names, and it's hard for them to get access to. They don't have a passport, and it's hard for them to have a passport or get their birth certificate.
Yeah. And if I'm again, they're not going to ask me for my advice, but if I'm leading Republicans in states or nationally, do you really want to piss off women, especially women voters? Because I think it's a bad idea. First of all, the majority population nationally and probably in most states. Seems like a bad idea long term, unless you only care about now, which a lot of people say is the way MAGA operates. Right now matters. We'll get to the other stuff later on. Maybe that's the strategy. We got to take a break. She's Chris and I'm Steve. Point taken on 620 WTMJ.
Get inside the mind of Mark Tauscher.
I'm torn on this because I don't know if I want to see another quarterback wearing number 4 or number 12 or number 15.
See the world from his perspective.
I think you'd ever have to get to where it'd be like pi, 3.14 or anything like that.
On Wisconsin's Morning News, every day at 7:50.
That's like back in the old days when I would walk on at Wisconsin, you got the issue gear and it was number 140. Kind of let you know where you're at.
Mark Tauscher, presented by Hello Windows and Doors of Wisconsin.
Hey, it's WTMJ Steve Scafidi for Annex Wealth Management. After you filed your taxes, you might be taking a closer look at your full financial picture, good idea, and some questions might have come to mind. Who will carry on with your financial legacy? What needs to be in place so they can pick up where you left off? Reviewing your estate plan can give you clarity for your family's financial and emotional future. Unlike firms that sell commission products, Annex Wealth Management acts as a fee-only fiduciary, always focused on your best interest. They don't spend time trying to sell you things you might not need. Their in-house team, which is spectacular, works collaboratively across all areas of your financial life to provide coordinated guidance for your individual needs, retirement planning, investment guidance, estate plans, and business and tax strategies, all done right there at Annex. Join them in person on Thursday, May 14th at their headquarters in Brookfield, which is amazing, by the way. At Destination Retirement, are we there yet? What will life look like when you retire? You're financially ready. Meet the people who can help guide you and get you there. Space is limited. Click events at annexwealth.com. Whether it's Annex Comprehensive Wealth, Annex Private Clients, or Annex Ignite, they have the tools and the technology and the people and the smarts to show you where you're headed. Know the difference with Annex Wealth Management. Go to annexwealth.com. That's annexwealth.com.
There's an amazing supper club in Wisconsin Dells, Ish Nala, nestled among the pines and perched above the sandstone bluffs of Mirror Lake. The beauty, the history, the service, the food, the fun. Hi, this is Bob Prosser, owner of Ish Nala Supper Club in Wisconsin Dells. I've been a part of Ish Nala since 1973, and I am so proud to continue the tradition that began in 1953. Why not enjoy a brandy old-fashioned in one of our bars? each with a spectacular view overlooking Mirror Lake. Or just relax before or after dinner on one of our outdoor decks. Our Ishnala chefs have prepared your favorites: 24-ounce ribeye, cold water lobster tails, North Atlantic salmon, and of course, Ishnala's roast duck. Thank you for making Ishnala Wisconsin's favorite supper club, where the only thing we overlook is Mirror Lake. I'm Bob Prosser, and I want to serve you.
I didn't want my kids spending their weekends fixing my gutters or worrying if I was okay. Hi, this is Arvid. At Capri Communities, I have new friends, fun activities, and a safe, maintenance-free home. My children get peace of mind, and I get to enjoy life to the fullest. It's the best gift I could give them and myself.
Give the care that has your parent enjoying life again at Capri Communities. Get started today at capricommunities.com.
All right, we talked about it earlier, sort of all the things we do for you here in the Point Taken universe, and one of those is our newsletter, which comes out every Sunday, about 9-ish. It's sort of a nice recap. We have some recommendations, we do some fun stuff, Wisconsin stories. You can send the link to friends so they can subscribe. We don't burden you. I read it myself, and we put it together. It's a fun read. And my goal was to always do this, and this is your idea, but it's to make it fun for people. I don't want it to be, because we get a lot of newsletters. Let's be honest, some of them are chores to read. It's like, what's going on with this? Ours is not a chore.
Well, then why don't you just stop reading that one?
Unsubscribe?
Yeah.
That's not as easy as you think sometimes. That's like a sticky wicket. I always say that wrong. Sticky wicket. Old term, which I looked up for you last time I mentioned that, and screwed it up last time too. But anyway, if you text the word extra, we just checked it out. The link works, extra, EXTRA, to 855-616-1620. It's delivered to your inbox. You'll be surprised the cool stuff that's in there. We have bonus content in there now. Some of the stuff we do away from the shows. Mm-hmm. I'll have some of the things I do with Freighted, and you're doing a great one that's coming up pretty soon.
Be the Light, Sojourner Family Peace Center, June 11th.
Great, awesome event. So that link is in there. So help those folks out who do amazing work in our community. I've known their story for decades. And I've actually done some fundraisers for them in the past. Just great work. That's sort of cool stuff that's in the newsletter. So find it. Spread it around to your friends, your girlfriends, your boyfriends, your lovers, your neighbors, whoever it is, whatever category they fit into. Maybe your enemies. I don't know. Find somebody that will read the newsletter.
Subscribe to your enemies. That's what you should do.
Send it to, if you know their email, sign them up. No, don't do that. That's not ethical. Don't do that. Please don't do that.
Why am I on this email list?
I don't like them. Stop it. All right, after the break. How do I want to tee this up in 5 seconds? Anyway.
I was going to say, you lost it.
I lost it. I couldn't do it in 5 seconds. All right, local news, Connie Weber. Here's ABC.
ABC News, I'm Michelle Franzen. Days after the U.S. launched Project Freedom to escort ships through the Strait of Hormuz, President Trump now says that operation is on pause to give peace talks a chance, but also warned bombing could resume if Iran doesn't make a deal. Americans are paying at least $4.50 a gallon, now the highest in 4 years. ABC's Rebecca Jarvis has more.
Feeling that pressure, a number of states have now enacted gas tax holidays. Kentucky is the latest to do it, but Indiana, Utah, and many others are also trying to help consumers with this burden, which continuously is increasing.
Following the news of Ted Turner's death, President Trump calling him one of the greats. The media titan and trailblazer founded CNN and also shaped 24-hour cable news. Ted Turner was 87. 3 passengers airlifted today from the Dutch cruise ship due to a hantavirus outbreak. 3 people on board died earlier, and the ship remains in limbo off West Africa's coast. This is ABC News.
Outdoor Living Unlimited, WTMJ News Time, 10:31. I'm Connie Weber. A Kenosha standoff leaves a man injured. Police responded around 6:15 Monday night to a child custody call, 50th Street and 14th Avenue on Kenosha's north side. They found 35-year-old Andres Casas, who fired at officers when they tried to arrest him. Casas then barricaded himself in the home for about 8 hours, then climbed out a window. An officer shot Casas as they moved in to take him into custody. He went to the hospital for his injuries. The officer on administrative administrative leave. An inmate escaped from the Kenosha Correctional Center. Police say 31-year-old Jonathan Taylor got out of the facility Tuesday afternoon, unclear how, but law enforcement actively searching the area. Anyone with information should contact Kenosha police. Major legal case involving Google coming to a close, with money heading back to some Wisconsin consumers. Federal court says it'll approve a $700 million settlement in a lawsuit over Google's control of its App Store. Wisconsin joined dozens of states in the case, which accused Google of limiting competition and overcharging users. Most of the settlement money will go directly to people who made purchases on Google Play between 2016 and 2023. Time now for news about your money with the WTMJ Annex Wealth Management Market Update. The Dow is up 590 points, 49,888. The Nasdaq up 376 at 25,702. S&P 500 up 85 points at 7,344. Financial planning at every level. Annex Comprehensive Wealth, Annex Private Client, Annex Ignite. Details at annexwealth.com. Take a look at the roads now with your WTMJ Time Saver traffic. Still a little bit of slowing. I-94 East is heavy from the 173 interchange to about 32nd Street. Here's your WTMJ 5-day forecast. Partly cloudy today with a high 54. Partly cloudy overnight. Maybe some frost with a low of 38. Partly cloudy tomorrow. Chance for an afternoon or evening shower with a high 56. Partly cloudy and still a chance of rain on Friday. 62 for the high. Mostly sunny Saturday, then storms by the evening with a high Saturday 66. And Sunday, Mother's Day. Chance of rain early with a high of 58. 47 in Madison. 46 in Green Bay. 50 in Milwaukee. I'm Connie Weber, Outdoor Living Unlimited, WTMJ News Time, 10:33.
Lake Geneva is the Midwest's premier golf destination, featuring breathtaking views, crystal clear lakes, and rolling fairways. Treat yourself to an all-inclusive golf getaway with courses designed for all skill levels, luxurious lodging, distinctive dining, and a relaxing spa. Plan a Lake Geneva group golf outing, a corporate event, or a weekend getaway with friends or family. Their pros will help you plan a memorable golf experience. For info on courses and more, visit lakegeneva.com today. Lake Geneva, it's always been the place for legendary golf.
You know, I mean, your home is about as personal as it gets, right?
We want to build a relationship with homeowners, not only educating them, but we're getting to know them and allowing them an opportunity to get to know us.
Yeah, the interview goes both ways.
Mm-hmm.
Getting to know people while also serving them. It's so much more than just, okay, we're replacing your roof.
Besides that, it's just the right thing to do. See how Big Fish Contracting is renovating homes and redeeming an industry at bigfishcontracting.com.
WTMJ's Eric Bilstead here for Tri-County Contracting. It's time, isn't it, to update the look of your house, but you don't even know where to begin. First step, Tri-County Contracting, WI.com. Yes, Tri-County's been in the roof business for 47 years, but Chuck, Tony, and the crew also handle siding. They've got design consultants that can help you. No exterior contractor will do what Tri-County Contracting can do for you. Tri-County Contracting, WI.com. It's siding that'll make you love your home again.
Good Karma Brands is proud to be an equal opportunity employer, providing equal employment, development, and advancement opportunities to all teammates and applicants. To learn more about careers with us, please send an email to talentacquisition@goodkarmabrands.com. That's talentacquisition@goodkarmabrands.com.
Oh, it's Wednesday. Steve, thanks for joining us. As always, if you miss any or all of our shows or podcast page, WTMJ.com, or just put in Point Taken in the search bar on your favorite podcast platform, and you can hear all of our shows and great interviews. We do politics, culture. We mix in some fun stuff as well. Not that politics and culture can't be fun as well, which is sort of an interesting one, because when I think of the concept of a White House, a new White House ballroom, now having visited the White House about a dozen times over the last 15 years, I've been in and out of some of these areas. The East Wing is now gone. It's just basically rubble, which is sort of sad because it just doesn't look good, the pictures that I saw most recently. President, as you know, and the number's gone up and down. It started at 250, then went to 400. Now, as we'll get to in a second, the price tag is even higher than that, and who gets handed that bill is changed. But just generally, the idea of a White House ballroom now with an enhanced security area underneath it, which was sort of a recent addition to the idea of a ballroom. Where do you fall on it? What's a long pause?
Because I'm trying to think about this. If it was a different president, like take who's trying to do it out of it, and does it make sense for the White House to have a massive ballroom? Maybe you can make an argument as far as for that.
Process matters, though.
But I think that's been the big thing as far as how it's being paid for, what the process has been. It's the people's house, not the current president's house. And so as far as buy-in from more stakeholders to enhance the people's house, feels like there should have been a little bit more democracy around it versus what we're doing now. Especially now that it's not just a donation, or it sounds like it's not going to be just a donation.
Similar in sort of it hasn't been knocked down yet, but the Kennedy Center now apparently going to be closed, or at least they're fighting to close it because it needs renovation. I'm not happy about this. Not that I don't think you can always update the White House, but the process matters to me. There's commissions you have to go through. There's certainly local codes, and even in D.C., there's ways you can and can't do things. I'll get to a story after we play a little clip from the president talking about funding this thing, where some of the demolition materials went to and what's in some of them, which is sort of concerning. But this is a quick, what do we got, about 40 seconds of the president talking about the funding part of this. So I'm big on facts. No facts speak louder than the actual president or anybody saying words out loud that are recorded on any subject, in this case, the ballroom. Here's the President of the United States talking about how this ballroom potentially would be funded.
And I'm paying for it. I'm paying for it. The country's not.
We're donating a $400 million ballroom. Myself and donors are giving them free of charge for nothing. We did this no charge to the taxpayer whatsoever. Rich people and people are putting up the money, zero taxpayer dollars.
I think it'll cost $250 million, and it will be, I think, the finest.
It's about $300 million. Approximately $400 million. I think I'll do it for less. But it's $400. I should do it for less. I will do it for less. But just in case I say $400.
That's a quick sampling of the president. That was like from November and December, not that long ago. It's only May, early May. So since that time where, public off the hook, this is me, which is never going to happen, and other rich guys generally, tech bros probably, are going to pay for this. Fast forward till today, or yesterday, this week, Senate Judiciary Committee Chairman Chuck Grassley, Republican from Iowa, as part of the long-term immigration and border patrol funding bill, includes now $1 billion earmarked for security improvements accompanying the ballroom project. Now, I'm smart enough and old enough to understand what's going on. It's a bait and switch. So they're going to argue, and I can tell you what they're going to argue. I'll paraphrase. It's not the ballroom we're paying for. It's all the security enhancements.
Yeah.
And I say BS. I almost wanted to say the real word, because this is absolute BS. It never was going to be privately funded. I don't know that when he said those words in November, December, January, February, March, April, now May, that he ever had commitments, real commitments on paper from the rich people that he talks about all the time, his friends, to pay for this thing. And now we're going to pay for it.
Because they're going to do it through a reconciliation, and so they don't actually need Democrats
they can do it on their
sign
own.
off on it. Yeah.
That should, if you're a Republican, conservative, Democrat, independent, liberal, whatever you call it, Green Party, you should be pissed off. It doesn't get more clear than this. He lied to the American people about this project. And you made a great point at the beginning. It's not that we don't need more security for the White House. We should always enhance the people's house.
Well, and someone just texted in as far as having a more grandiose place to host leaders around the world when they come to the White House.
But I guess my question is, why couldn't you have done this as this? I think America would stand up and cheer for this. A bipartisan group of elected leaders in Congress that work together to give us a ballroom, enhanced security that we'd all be proud of, we could all agree on. That's how a process should play. But none of that happened. It was more grandiose grandstanding from a president who's, for lack of a better term, I called him, he's a snake oil salesman, and that's what he did. He was never going to pay for this. Whatever rich friends he's talking about, they were never going to probably want to pay for it.
So you don't think this is in addition to?
No.
You think this
No. I think
$1 billion
we're gonna-
from the reconciliation is for the full ballroom?
Yeah, we're going to end up paying for this damn thing. And the reason he wants to get this done quickly is he'd like to see it done before he leaves office, which seems like a long time from now, but time goes quickly.
And if you ever remodeled your house, construction takes a long time.
Yeah, and there's all kinds of rules. And as much as he's sort of thrown out the rules, because like the thing I was talking about before is apparently there's some hazard materials and some bad things that were in the ancient construction. No surprise, probably some lead paint and all the other things that were in ancient buildings.
But then they just dumped it by a golf course?
Yeah.
Is that what the story was?
Sounds like it. Yeah, they're demo materials. Just dumped it. Whatever. Following the rules, as somebody who led a city, somebody who worked with the folks that the inspection department, and the rules matter on this stuff. The public's health and safety matters, and certainly the bottom line, the dollar amount that you attach to projects like this are all important. What could have been a great example of a president working with Congress, both sides, to build maybe even something grander than he had imagined, right? Could have been an amazing ballroom and enhanced security area below. I'm not saying that's not warranted, but he didn't do that. He was going to tell everybody else how it should be done.
Do you think there's any chance? So you think we talk about the when Jeremy Janine comes in on Thursdays about the additional timber apartment complex that's now just sitting as the foundation is done, and we don't know what we're going to do with it next. Is there a chance? Is there some reality where Democrats take, let's say, both the House and the Senate, and then all of a sudden the White House is just sitting, if there's some kind of gridlock and the White House is just sitting unfinished for the next 2 years, and there's just nothing happening, and he'll have torn it down, and because what always happens, there's no consensus on what can, like, once there's a divided government, and we're like, oh, we're just stuck with this hole in the ground.
I was there in May 2 years ago. We toured the White House as part of a family vacation with my wife and my brother and sister-in-law. It's gorgeous. That area they toured, the East Wing was beautiful. Even though it's old and outdated, it still was gorgeous.
So now let's play this out even further. So there's a hole in the ground, right? The construction has started.
It looks rough.
They've told down. So at this point, we can all agree that something needs to be built.
Yes.
So what in your idea, in your world, was the best way to move forward to make sure something gets built, and who should pay for it?
Besides the conversation with both sides before the project.
I don't know. I mean, what's the best case solution? What's the best outcome now that it's like it's already torn down?
If the president and his administration loses both sides of Congress, at least clean it up, plant some landscaping until whatever happens next. I'm not arguing that there shouldn't be a ballroom. There probably should be some sort of a larger venue, because many of the problems with the White House are associated with smaller rooms. I've been to U.S. Conference of Mayors where they invited the mayors every year. I believe it's the big room. I think it's the Lincoln Ballroom or Lincoln Room. That can handle 300, 400 people. That's where they have those big dinners. But he's talking, the president, about thousands of people. Mm-hmm. And I don't even know, I think the capacity is never going to be more than 2,000. So that events like he's talking about, the White House Correspondents Association, that's never going to happen. That's 2,500 minimum. Build something, but make it be a celebration.
But who should pay for it? I mean, now that's torn down, I mean, are taxpayers on the hook no matter what?
I think that's settled. We're going to pay for it, which is the part that sucks. So for all you lovers of the president, I wanted to play his actual words, because that's what he said. No one made him say that. No one forced him to say that. No one wrote it down for him. He said that. That's not what's going to happen. In my words, in my world, that's a lie. Explain it to me. Like I'm 6. Break.
Visit family-owned Ken Michaels Furniture and our in-store design centers, where you'll still find beautiful, luxurious, heirloom-quality American-made furniture. Right now, save 30 to 35% store-wide and take advantage of our complimentary design services. Whether you're moving, renovating, or updating, our designers will help your vision become a reality. Visit Ken Michaels Furniture in Brookfield on Capitol Drive and in Greenfield on Highway 100 to save 30 to 35% store-wide today. Sleep better and save more with mattresses from Milwaukee Mattress and Ken Michaels Furniture. Handcrafted in our Milwaukee factory, our mattresses utilize natural materials like cotton cushioning, which dissipates body heat, Joma wool quilts for warm wintry nights and cool summer evenings, and natural latex providing superior conformability and pressure relief for aching joints. Stop in today at any Ken Michaels Furniture store and save up to 50% compared to national brands.
For 176 years, St. Vincent de Paul Society of Milwaukee has been neighbors helping neighbors, working to eliminate poverty and hunger with compassion and dignity. When families face hard times, our volunteers step in. Over 600 trained volunteers ready to meet people where they're at, in their homes. And that's what our Neighbors Helping Neighbors home visit program is all about. Volunteers travel in pairs, listening first, then offering personalized support. They provide families and individuals with things like furniture, beds, food, clothing, and connect them to vital community resources, help that provides stability during challenging times. These home visits don't just address an immediate need, they help create a safer, more stable future for our families and individuals in our community. Last year alone, St. Vincent de Paul Society volunteers completed nearly 11,000 home visits across Milwaukee County, serving those who need us most. Together, we are neighbors helping neighbors. To learn more about our mission or get involved, visit svdpmilw.org.
I'm WTMJ's Sandy Max. What makes living at Three Pillars so special? Let's hear from my friend Dave.
The campus is beautiful. For me, nature is my church, and I love being outside. We live by the Bark River, and it's calming. It just calms my soul. I just love it. A lot of the people, I'm talking about 100-year-old people, they credit Three Pillars with living longer.
Schedule a tour today at threepillars.org.
WTMJ's Julia Fellow for Appliance Gallery, right on Wisconsin Avenue in Milwaukee. Their gorgeous showroom is the most up-to-date in our state, featuring luxury brands like Sub-Zero, Wolf, Miele, Fisher & Paykel, and more. They'll work right with your contractor or designer and make the process seamless. They even offer brands where you can choose from custom colors. As a small family-owned company with one location, they deliver impeccable service with a personal touch. Visit ApplianceGalleryWY.com or stop in today.
From large manufacturer to local pizza shop and every business in between, Summit Credit Union helps your vision take shape with loan programs, great rates, and strategic solutions. Whatever you're building, you've got this. And Summit Credit Union's got you.
Somebody asked about what they're dumping. So because of the demolition of the East Wing, and it's the East Room I was talking about, where that's where Lincoln was actually laid out after his assassination. And I've been to multiple events in that room. So I think it's the largest space in the White House, at least the east part of the White House. So because of this demolition, they're dumping these chemicals and metals and other noxious things close to a golf course, which, oh, by the way, the president wants to take over and run at some point. So that's part of the side story of this. So lead, which is probably from the paint because the White House is old.
Yeah.
Chromium, other toxic metals. There has been a report. The White House, their version of the report said there's nothing to look at here. Nothing to see here. Well, groups that are professionally involved with like demolition, engineering, they said there's PCBs, pesticides, petroleum byproducts, other chemicals at levels that are above normal reporting limits. So as with everything with this administration, there's lawsuits and court cases. And this stuff is going to take time. So I guess the big part of this for me is, like, how does any of this get reconciled in the short term so that this is not just a hole in the ground for, as you were saying, like for a long time?
Well, if they get it through reconciliation, then I'm sure they'll
get
the
guess.
funding and they'll finish it.
Well, here's a good question. Maybe
what's the timeline on it?
He said like a year. Yeah,
okay.
It seems pretty aggressive, but this is for like Mary Kuhn mentioned some of our legal experts. How much can you do with all these pending lawsuits about what you should or should not be able to do with a ballroom? I suppose it's whatever the last judge at the highest level has said you can do. You can go ahead or you can't go ahead. But if a judge at the highest level before, I don't know, maybe the Supreme Court, even if it would go that far, it seems like more of a state issue or a D.C. issue, allows them to do, I just don't know how this is resolved quickly. I know the president wants it done quickly. He wants to celebrate. At one point, he was talking about actually having this done, this year, which is not going to happen. And again, 2028 is coming pretty quick.
How does this impact all the celebrations for the 250th that are planned to be on?
No idea.
The property.
No idea.
West Lawn property or White House.
Well, do you know
property.
the setup? How it looks? There's massive open area in front of the so that would be south. there's plenty of area for that stuff. There's a UFC event on.
Is that still happening?
I believe
Is
so.
the Patriot game still happening?
Don't know. But I mean, there's a lot of area that way. The east, west, and north, not so much.
Okay.
The lawn is a fancy lawn.
So they'll just like fence off the construction.
But I can remember being in that because as you queue into the White House to go on your tour. It used to be filled with like 300-year-old trees and, I mean, the best landscaping imaginable. That's all like destroyed, including the trees, just like knocked down.
Everywhere or just on the
Just on that
east
part,
side?
on the east side.
Okay.
Yeah. So what used to be sort of a nice walk up, it's ugly now because the west side of the White House is more business. It's not jazzed up like the east side. It was sort of the beautiful landscaped area. I think people are going to miss that. What it looks like for the next 2 years, who the hell knows? It's disappointing. Quick break.
Accunet Mortgage is an equal housing lender. NMLS ID 255368.
This is Brian Wickert here with my son David, Accunet's president and chief metaphor officer. What do you have for us this time?
Dad, for a lot of sellers, selling their home is like handing over a family photo album. Every room in that house has a birthday memory or a trombone lesson or that last Mother's Day brunch before the kids moved out. The seller isn't just transferring a deed, they're saying farewell to a chapter of their life.
So buyers need to walk through the front door with that in mind.
Absolutely. It's not just a financial transaction. It's a transfer of trust. Sellers and their agents are looking to say yes to the buyer who is strong enough and safe enough to make good on their offer.
So what does that look like in practice?
It looks like a rock-solid guaranteed pre-approval and a thoughtfully crafted offer that tells the seller, I will show up.
Because when the seller is deciding who will get the keys and the metaphorical family photo album,
you want them to feel the best about handing them to you.
Get started with your rock-solid pre-approval by clicking on the blue button today at Accunet.com.
You can search for the biggest bat selection, but I'm here to save you time because the best baseball and softball bat selection in the Midwest is right here at Burkhardt Sporting Goods. We stock just about every bat on the market from all the top manufacturers like Easton, DeMarini, Louisville Slugger, Marucci, and more, and sell them all at the guaranteed lowest prices. So get in here and try a few out in our indoor batting cages. There's no need to look any further because when it comes to bats, if you want it, we got it at Burkhardt Sporting Goods.
You can't beat Burkhardt.
When you run a team, you want great uniforms, and you know selling spiritwear is vital. That's why Burkhardt Sporting Goods will create a free custom website for you to sell your families and players the coolest spiritwear from Nike and Under Armour, as well as the basics, while helping you fundraise at the same time. We take the hassle out of coordinating your team's apparel and make shopping and buying easy. So when you need awesome spiritwear and uniforms for your organization, you can't beat Burkhardt.
You can't beat Burkhardt.
A huge month of Brewers baseball kicks off with the battle against the Yankees Friday, May 8th through Sunday, May 10th. Catch the crew for half off with Wisconsin First Friday game tickets on Friday the 8th. Plus, Mother's Day Sunday is the perfect game to bring the whole family with new kids experiences every Sunday. Plus, the first 10,000 fans over the age of 21 get a Brewers picnic blanket at the Mother's Day game, courtesy of American Family Insurance. Score your tickets at Brewers.com.
Epic parties start at Staples. Now you can grab Party City balloons, decorations, and tableware, plus matching custom invites, banners, and more right at Staples. That was easy.
Keeping you updated on culture and creativity. What's on Tap with Sandy Max.
George and Gracie, a love story. Playwright and performer as Gracie, Tammy Workentine, and James Pickering, who will be George Burns.
George borrowed $400 from Gracie, and he spent $260 on flowers. Gracie eventually said, anybody who would spend $260 of my money to buy flowers for me has got to be in love.
Weeknights at 6 on WTMJ and the What's on Tap podcast on WTMJ.com. WTMJ, W277CV, and WKTI HD2 Milwaukee. From the Annex Wealth Management Studios, this is News Radio WTMJ, a Good Karma brand station.
There are officially 3 days left in my nomination period for Salute to Service. Thanks to Waterstone Bank for making it all possible, and our other great partners, which I'll tell you about next week. Next week, by the way, we're going to play all of our last year's honorees. Their special piece that we did, a feature that Jazz put together. We'll play those Monday through Friday next week. But you have today, tomorrow, and Friday, and I got some more nominations yesterday.
Any front runners?
Yeah, but I don't want to tease it because I haven't picked yet. So I what I do is I call the people or email them and get a little more information. Then I will weigh them this weekend, and then I'll have my 5 picked by next Monday. And then the process of putting the features together and getting all the scheduling thing is the hardest thing because we have 5 days, 5 half hours. We have to match those to the honorees and their schedules. That's like, it's not my most fun week that way.
Busy.
It's a busy week. It's my busiest week of the year, but I love doing it. So if you have an idea, first responder, police, fire, EMT, dispatcher, health provider, emergency tech, anybody who's sort of impacted your life in that way, send me a quick nomination. And how you do it, text the word SALUTE, S-A-L-U-T-E, S-A-L-U-T-E to 855-616-1620. We'll do the rest. We'll put it together for Heroes Week, which is coming up in a couple of weeks. I love this. Kristen and I will have it in studio for the last half hour of those shows that week. Thanks again to Waterstone Bank. But get those nominations. Do not wait, because once Friday shuts down, once we close nominations, I can't entertain.
Can't do it till next year.
Next year, which is a long ways away, especially when you're trying to build the ballroom. All right, news is next.
When should you take Social Security? Hi, I'm Tony Drake, certified financial planner and founder of Drake & Associates right here in Wisconsin. For many retirees, Social Security is one of the most important income sources they'll have. But deciding when to claim your benefits isn't always simple. Claim early, and your monthly benefits may be permanently reduced. Wait too long, and you might miss years of income you could have received. The right strategy depends on several factors: your health, your spouse's benefits, your other retirement income, and how taxes could affect what you keep. At Drake & Associates, we help Wisconsin families coordinate Social Security with the rest of their retirement plan so it works alongside your investments, taxes, and income strategy. To help you get started, I'm offering my complimentary retirement toolkit. It includes my book, Get Retirement Ready, and 5 guides that explain how Social Security fits into a complete retirement plan. Call 414-897-9522 or text TAX to that number for your no-cost toolkit. That's 414-897-9522 or text the word TAX to 414-897-9522. Because when it comes to Social Security, the right timing can make a big difference.
Drake & Associates LLC is an independent investment advisory firm that offers a variety of different investment vehicles. This commercial is provided for informational purposes only and should not be construed as individual investment advice. Drake & Associates LLC does not provide legal or tax advice. Past performance is not indicative of future performance.
For the ones who get it done, Grainger offers the professional-grade products you need, delivered when and where you need them. Call, click Grainger.com, or just stop by. Transform your home today. Exterior Pros. Trust the pros.
When you've been injured, you need a winning team on your side. Gruber Law Offices will fight for the results you deserve. Call Gruber Law Offices today, a proud partner of your Milwaukee Brewers. One call, that's all.
They call it baseball heaven.
Here at Busch Stadium in St. Louis.
Well, heaven is about to get real loud.
2-0 pitch and a fly ball. Deep left field. Lyles back. Track. Bye baseball. Gary Sanchez gets them to their feet.
The Brewers land in St. Louis to take on the Cardinals. Our Brewers Radio Network game day coverage starts today at 11:40. We are the home of the Brewers. 620 WTMJ Milwaukee.
11 o'clock, we have 51 degrees, partly cloudy today with a high up to 54. From the WTMJ Breaking News Center, I'm Connie Weber. 3 people are getting off that ship health officials say had an outbreak of the hantavirus on board. Here's ABC's Victor Oquendo.
17 Americans are among the nearly 150 on that ship, including Jake Rosemarin, who tells us everyone on board remains in good spirits and are hopeful, saying there are safety measures in place, masking, access to decks for fresh air, and here's his meal delivered to his cabin. Health officials now trying to reassure the stranded passengers.
3 people have died, and health experts investigating the possibility that the virus, usually transmitted by rodents, was transmitted person to person who are in close contact. The U.S. and Iran reportedly close to finalizing a memorandum aimed at ending the war. That's according to multiple reports, which cautioned that the Trump administration said talks could fall apart at the last second. Meanwhile, President Trump issued a warning to Iran, said the bombing will start again if a deal is not reached. President says the new White House ballroom is going up rapidly. That as GOP lawmakers considering spending $1 billion in taxpayer money on its security features. ABC's Stephen Portnoy has more from Washington.
In court filings, the Trump administration has said the new East Wing would include missile-resistant steel columns, military-grade venting, drone-proof ceilings, and bullet, ballistic, and blast-proof glass. In all, the project would amount to a fortified structural buffer that would protect not only the new ballroom, but also the main White House residence and the offices in the West Wing. Aside from the $400 million the president has said he would raise privately for the ballroom, Senate Republicans proposed to spend $1 billion in taxpayer funds to secure it.
According to a Truth Social post, the cost has changed because the ballroom is now expected to be approximately twice the size and far higher quality. President Trump first announced an estimated $200 million price tag last year. Residents should be on alert. Milwaukee County Sheriff's Office reporting a rise in scam messages.
People are getting texting calls claiming they owe money for things like tolls, traffic tickets, or even jury duty and demanding immediate payment. A key clue it's a scam: Wisconsin doesn't have toll roads. The sheriff's office stressing they'll never call or text asking for money or threatening action. If you get one of these messages, don't click the links or share personal information. Delete it immediately and report it as spam. You can always verify real citations through the Milwaukee County Clerk's Office or the Sheriff's Office traffic desk. Neil Doyle, WTMJ News.
State health officials rolling out a new strategy to tackle Wisconsin's mental health challenges. Department of Health Services says the plan aims to make it easier for people to get help, including creating one central place to connect with services across multiple state agencies. It also puts an emphasis on rural communities by expanding telehealth options. State officials say the strategy is based on months of work and feedback from thousands of residents. This week is Maternal Mental Health Awareness Week. Psychiatrist with the Medical College, Dr. Elizabeth Hovis, says postpartum depression is the most common complication of pregnancy. She tells Wisconsin's Afternoon News.
What's unique about the perinatal period is sometimes pregnancy and the postpartum period can look like depression, lack of interest or ability to do things that you previously did. And so there are red flag symptoms, like if you can't sleep when baby's sleeping, that makes me nervous. If you're below pre-pregnancy weight by 6 weeks postpartum, that makes me nervous.
Hovis says around 1 in 5 pregnant and postpartum people will meet criteria for mental illness. Time for news about your money and the WTMJ Annex Wealth Management Market Update. The Dow up 538 points, NASDAQ up 384, S&P 500 up 83. Financial planning at every level, Annex Comprehensive Wealth, Annex Private Client, Annex Ignite. Details at annexwealth.com. Sports, traffic, and weather up next. Outdoor Living Unlimited, WTMJ News Time, 11:04.
Personal injury lawyers seem like they're a dime a dozen, but Frank Pasternak and I are not about t-shirts or cartoons. At Pasternak and Zergabel, we focus on serious cases and real results for injured Wisconsinites. We are two of Wisconsin's best injury lawyers. I'm Jeff Zergabel of Pasternak and Zergabel. Our clients trust Pasternak and Zergabel because we show up, we listen, and we fight for you. If you need help, go to Pasternak and Zergabel at injurywisconsin.com. That's injurywisconsin.com.
Wisconsin weather doesn't ease into spring. It keeps you guessing. That's why your windows and doors need to handle everything. At Pella Windows and Doors of Wisconsin, we build for year-round comfort. Get the look you want for the home you love with 0% financing options available. So you can upgrade now and pay over time. Plus, enjoy a free in-home consultation, expert installation, and a 10-year limited warranty. Schedule today at PellaWI.com.
Certain restrictions apply. It's 5/31/2026.
Spring into better vision at Shopko Optical. Vince Vitrano here. All starts with a comprehensive eye exam from a skilled optometrist. Takes a look at your eye health and overall well-being. Need glasses, contacts, maybe both? At Shopko Optical, get expert care and the perfect eyewear for your lifestyle, all in one convenient visit. Locations throughout southeast Wisconsin. I go to the one at Hales Corners. Call Shopko Optical or visit shopko.com to schedule your exam. Shopko Optical, partners in your eye care.
Epic parties start at Staples. Now you can grab Party City balloons, decorations, and tableware, plus matching custom invites, banners, and more right at Staples. That was easy. Treat your mother to Mineshaft Restaurant's all-you-can-eat, super affordable Mother's Day brunch. Kids and grandkids under 3 eat free. The Wednesday and Friday haddock fish fry is all you can eat and under $9. The Mineshaft Restaurant in downtown Hartford. Google and reserve today.
Time for a WTMJ Sports Update from the Gruber Law Office's One Call That's All Sports Desk. Brewers had their game washed out Tuesday. Milwaukee's middle matchup with the St. Louis Cardinals postponed due to inclement weather. Teams will wrap up their series today and make up the game July 7th. Green Bay Packers helping expand girls flag football across Wisconsin.
The organization awarded $100,000 in grants to 20 high schools across the state to help launch girls flag football teams and intramural programs. Milwaukee School of Arts, Riverside University High School, Dominican High School, and Racine Park and Case were among the Milwaukee area schools selected. Packers say participation in girls flag football continues to grow, and the long-term goal is to establish it as an officially sanctioned high school sport in Wisconsin. Nizer Spencer, WTMJ News.
Taking a look at the roads now with your WTMJ Time Saver traffic. Just a disabled vehicle. This is going to be on the ramp from Wisconsin Highway 20 to I-41 North. So if you're in the area, watch out for that. Otherwise, pretty clear on the freeway system.
Find furniture for life from Ken Michaels Furniture in Brookfield, Greenfield, or downtown Milwaukee. Milwaukee Mattress, where top quality mattresses are priced hundreds less than premium national mattress brands. Found exclusively at Ken Michaels Furniture in Brookfield, Greenfield, and downtown Milwaukee.
Here's your WTMJ 5-day forecast. Partly cloudy and 54 today. A little chilly overnight. Low 38 with frost possible. Chance of an afternoon shower or storm tomorrow after a high of 56. Friday, partly cloudy. Still a chance of rain. High Friday, 62. Sunshine on Saturday, but then storms moving into the evening with a high Saturday, 66. And Sunday, Mother's Day. Chance of rain early, then sunshine in the afternoon. A high of 58. 48 in Madison, 46 in Green Bay, 51 in Milwaukee. I'm Connie Weber. Outdoor Living Unlimited, WTMJ News Time, 11:08.
Broadcasting live from the Annex Wealth Management Studios at the Avenue. It's time for Point Taken. Here are your hosts, Steve Scafidi and Kristen Bry.
I'm so sad. No more hump day.
Oh, we'll get over it.
I'm just kidding. All right, welcome back to the 11 o'clock hour of Point Taken, and we are very excited to welcome our friend, Fox World Travel's Rose Gray, joins us on the hotline right now. How are you doing today, Rose?
I'm really good. How are you guys?
We're great.
We are awesome on this Wednesday. So I wanted to get you on because, first of all, I love talking to you anyway, and traveling with you is a treat that some people who haven't done it should immediately sign up.
Maybe someday I'll get to.
Yes, and then we'll also talk about Julia's opportunity for it. As much as we're talking about traveling with Rose Ray, there's a direct ability to do that. So I wanted to get you on, Rose, because there's a lot going on with airlines. You obviously saw the Spirit story. That sort of has impacted the other carriers that we see less routes, higher prices. But the other parts that's starting to be a part of this, and it has to go with a worldwide story of Iran, the Strait of Hormuz. And I wanted to get you on because now we know, and I was reading a story about international travel from the U.S. and in Europe about the increase in the prices, and now some of these big airlines, the international airlines, cutting routes because of the energy problem. What are you hearing? What are you seeing?
Well, so far, our customers have been mostly impacted internally in Europe. So over the water, the long hauls, not so much yet. I have been hearing a couple of things on various chat boards and things that I monitor on social media where Turkish Airways canceled one of their flights out of Newark every week and a few other things like that. But we saw some internal things. Aer Lingus was among them that flies a lot, and they go from Dublin to various places in Europe, and we were seeing some cancellations there, quite a number of those. And then that impacts the likes of their discount carriers. They've got Ryanair, they've got EasyJet over there, which is the equivalent of our ultra-low-cost carriers here, and they're full to capacity, and they can't accommodate these people. So that's where some of those challenges were coming. But there is probably more to come because you can't just, even if you opened up the port right now, it would be weeks and weeks before everything got back to normal again with regard to fuel in general.
So, Rose, when the inner countries, like in Europe, have those backups, have those cancellations, how long does it take to have a trickle effect on the cross-Atlantic, cross-Pacific flights, or are they just kind of stay separate no matter what?
Well, they do to in some regards, because think about it. If you were supposed to take a flight from, point A to point B, but it was from one country to another, think geographically, you could hop on a train and make that happen.
Yeah.
So some of that, we're seeing some of that as well, that the train travel is now all of a sudden, bursting at the seams because of this. But there could be a trickle-down effect, and there will be. There absolutely will be. And now the airlines are looking of cost efficiency with regard to what aircraft they're flying, and are we going to adjust that? And if they do that, how do we take it down from, 400 people to 280 people, or that whatever that number might be. So those are all big challenges, and people with way more intellect than I do when it comes to airline industry have to figure that out. But how it impacts our customers is, what are my options? What do I as a consumer have as far as options are concerned? And usually we tell people, as boring as this is, understand the contract of carriage, that contract that you've entered into with the airline when you buy that ticket. What are their responsibilities? If they give me a schedule change I don't like, do I have to take it? What are my other options if I don't like a schedule change or a cancellation that they throw at me?
And this is where having a travel agent, because I've been in a situation both on listener trips and otherwise where things change pretty rapidly sometimes and you have to adapt. And that's, the great thing about Fox Road Travel. Many of these trips people schedule, the group trips or their individual trips, are out of ways. So I always caution people, you can overreact because what's happening now might not be the case for 6 months or a year from now. So that's sort of the advice that I think calms people down. Would you agree?
Right, absolutely. And we're also saying, people are saying, well, now I'm going to hold off to buy my airline ticket. Why?
Yeah.
If you've got a non-refundable tour or a cruise that's happening in Europe, you're going to go. You have to go. So buy the airline ticket and then don't look back until, I'm not saying never check your itinerary, never check your airline's website. Do that weekly just to be on the safe side. But with regard to trying to save some money and to try to look when those fares are going to drop, I can't predict that, and anybody who's in this industry can't predict that. We'd all be millionaires if we could predict it.
Because that's what I was going to say. As far as there is many of those algorithm flight predictors. Is the price going to go up or down? I haven't booked a flight in a while, and so I don't know what they're saying right now. But I imagine they're all wrong too, because there's so much up in the air that's going to impact the cost of fuel.
Well, definitely. And here's an example. So the Spirit Air thing, people are like, well, that's what they get for charging $89. Okay, but they gave the opportunity of travel to some people who may never have had that ability, and now we have no competition in those routes. And so the legacy carriers can do whatever they want with those fares.
Well, I was going to ask you, do you think that's a loss? Do you consider Spirit Airlines going out of business a loss for the industry?
It definitely is. It definitely is, because it was moving people and getting people to experience travel that may never have had that opportunity, and that's the saddest part for me. Like a lot of people in my industry are saying, yeah, that's what they get. Well, not really. That's not going to help anybody. And quite honestly, what is this great country built on? Competition, right? We need competition in a market, and when there isn't competition, we're getting almost back to regulated airfares again.
Fun and smart, Rose Gray. I got to give you some love I got to give Julia Fellow some love. She's got a few seats on her trip left next year. So tell people how they can sign up for it, because it's an amazing. The itinerary is amazing.
Yeah, because you were born in the UK. You know all about this stuff. You've been there. Julie is very fastidious, let's put it that way. And so it took about 7 months to come up with the perfect itinerary. I'm going along, Jason's going along. But what I love is when I get to talk to you during the week, because you can call 866-GO-FOX-GO right now and talk to an advisor who can help you get hooked up with that. Or you can just go to our website, foxrolltravel.com, go to the groups page, and you can find Julia's trip, and you can see why Steve says it's going to be so spectacular.
Having been there, I was born there, but I've been there a bunch of times. It's an amazing country, and the stuff that's in her itinerary will blow you away. You get a chance to experience the old stuff and the royal stuff and the countryside. It's just an amazing trip. So for my friend Julia, my teammate Julia, it is a great time to see. If you've never been, you should go. And the great thing is
I agree.
They sort of speak English. Sort of.
They do.
Depending on where you go, it gets different.
They have some weird spellings, but it's English.
Yes. Rose Gray, no one's better at doing what you do than you are. So thanks for joining us. I know it was a hot topic and a quick book, but love the fact that you could join us.
I'm available anytime. Thanks, guys.
All right, Rose Gray, Fox Road Travel. Quick break here on Point Taken.
Man, I love this place. I've been surfing here since I was a kid. Now, seeing my grandson out on the water, it means everything to me. Watching him and taking in the blue waves, the sea breeze, the blurry horizon.
If you have geographic atrophy, or GA, subtle changes in vision could mean it's progressing toward irreversible vision loss. Izervay is proven to slow GA progression and could help preserve your vision for longer, so you may keep seeing the world around you. Izervay, or avacincaptad pegol, is an eye injection. Don't take it if you have an infection or active swelling in or around your eye. Izervay can cause eye infection, retinal detachment, or increased risk of wet AMD. Izervay may cause blood in the white of the eye, blurred vision, or a temporary increase in eye pressure. Do not drive or use machinery until vision has recovered after an eye injection or exam. Ask your retina specialist how you can slow your GA with Izervay. To learn more, call 1-855-IZERVAY or go to izervay.com. Paid for by Astellas Pharma.
Dave Spano, CEO of Annex Wealth Management.
We have a contractual agreement that we give our clients, this fiduciary standard of care. We also say fee-only fiduciary. So a lot of people are kind of twisting it these days and saying, I'm a fiduciary some of the time. I call them part-time fiduciaries. And that's the reason why we say fee-only fiduciary. That means we do not accept commissions.
Know the difference with Annex Wealth Management. Click Get Started at annexwealth.com.
Tune in to Wisconsin's Midday News with Greg Matzik and Jessica Ty.
From the WTMJ Breaking Newsroom, former FBI Director James Comey indicted by federal prosecutors for a second time.
Bringing you the latest in news, sports, traffic, and weather.
King Charles opened his address to Congress with a personal touch. He also praised our U.S. lawmakers. He said, I come here with the highest respect for the U.S. Congress.
Every weekday from noon until 3 p.m. Only on WTMJ.
Competition. I whatever Spirit was, I didn't fly them, but when I was a business traveler, I sought out some of these airlines because I had to get point A to point B quickly for the lowest possible cost for my budgets. So there's a place for these airlines, and I don't want people to not travel because traveling expands your mind.
I totally agree.
Yeah, it gives you exposure to things you may not understand or see. I'm a big fan.
I'm a big fan too, and I feel like I don't know a ton about it, but the attempt from the crowd, like a crowdfunding attempt for the everyday Joe to kind of come together to save Spirit Airlines. So it's letsbuyspiritair.com and Spirit 2.0, the airline owned by the people for the people.
Yeah,
and I don't know if it's actually going to work, but I appreciate the sentiment of the ability to try to build something that could actually work for people. But I'm not sure airline is the first one that's going to work for that.
And when I was thinking about this topic, someone had sent me an email earlier this week about, well, doesn't this help like trains, like Amtrak? Yeah, I mean, there's always benefits.
But let's be honest, we're not a country that is known for our trains.
It's not Europe. Europe, they love trains. I mean, absolutely. And I've taken trains in Europe, and
I wish we loved trains here.
The trains are clean. They're fast. It's like it's the easiest way to travel. Although I would caution, have one bag, not multiple bags, because I did it with multiple bags once. It's a nightmare. But that's something we have not embraced here, mainly because of talk radio, because apparently trains are bad in the talk radio world, which I never understood, including getting from Milwaukee to Madison quickly. How is that a bad idea? To Chicago?
What was the argument against that again? I know Walker was the one who shut it down, but like, what was his reasoning? But weren't we getting a grant? Like, wasn't it federal funding that?
But here's the thing with grants. That's the seed money. There's always a long-term cost. Look, I argued at the time, because I remember this conversation, that don't call it high speed unless it's 200 miles an hour. So never call it high speed unless it goes 200 miles an hour. If you're talking about enhanced train service, that's a different thing. The problem is people call it high speed when it's not really that. If you want to make people endorse an idea from Milwaukee to Madison, get me there in half an hour. I would endorse that. That's my thing. I can drive there in an hour 5. So
depending on what part of Madison. Depends on where you're
Yeah.
leaving in Milwaukee and what part of Madison you're
exactly,
trying to get to.
yeah, because hell, getting out of Milwaukee, as we know, can be
Especially right now,
Yeah.
94, baby.
So, look, I want more competition, not less, and I'm not going to cheer for an airline to go out of business. I want people to travel because I think it's beneficial. And thanks to Hunter for the idea. Listener trip to Vegas. How many people would sign up for that? That'd be awesome. Because here's the cool thing.
What's the tipping point on that, though, when it becomes not like an intimate
many
time
people?
with Steve and instead just the
number that
spring
would,
break?
Yeah, 50.
Boomer
probably.
spring break?
50.
50.
Yeah.
Not 200.
But I could sell to. Because here's the thing. When you have that size of a number, you then get access to do like behind the scenes tours at casinos and resorts.
How many people have to be there to do those?
More than 100. Because my sister-in-law, Mary, has done like culinary trips. You got to have a big group. Yeah. So.
Okay.
Or be credentialed. I'm not credentialed on like blackjack. I play
I
blackjack.
don't know you were mayor.
Did they not know that?
Did they not know that yet?
Now I'm going to get this string of mayor texts. Thanks for that. Appreciate that. Oh, by the way, we're out early, so our next segment will be our last segment before Connie Weber, what I deem the America's favorite newswoman, gives us the latest news, and we have ABC, and then it's all Brewers. Early game today.
Early game.
Very excited about that.
How are you feeling about the Brewers so far this season?
Well, a lot of injuries. Jackson Churio came back, had 4 hits. They lost, but, I mean, he's back. That's a big, big plus for this team. They get healthy again, look out. 6 of the last 7 years in the playoffs. That's what I hang my hat on. She's Chris and I'm Steve. One more taste of the point taken pie after this on 620 WTMJ. Hey, this is WTMJ Steve Scaffidi. Have you listened to WTMJ Outdoors yet? Well, what are you waiting for? Every Saturday at 2 right here on 620 WTMJ. Stories of the outdoors in Wisconsin and beyond as we celebrate everything in recreation. This week, fishing season has begun in Wisconsin. Not the ice kind, the kind on open water. That has begun. We'll talk about that with some guides. And we'll take it to Milwaukee for a conversation about bubbler bikes. Cool story, getting around the streets of Milwaukee.
It's WTMJ Outdoors, presented by Outdoor Living Unlimited.
Hey, it's WTMJ Steve Scaffidi for QC Kinetics. You just heard me. At some point, you got to stop calling it pain and start calling your how I am now. But that's not what you put up with. Deep down, you know it's not okay, right? You got to get back to the normal. You're the one who was active, carefree, did fun stuff. I went last year for a free consultation with Dr. Ashley Caravelli and a great team at the QC Kinetics in Greenfield and changed my life. 5 treatments, went from an elbow that hurt to bend or to turn a doorknob. And in 5 treatments, which the kind of treatments where you have the treatment and then you go about your day. You don't have to stop working or take off or any of that stuff. In and out in 45 minutes generally. Real science, real regenerative treatment, all natural, and healing yourself is the magic of QC Kinetics. No operating room, no hardware, no watching summer come and go. Why would that be your reality? So do something about it. Map out a new route for yourself. Don't sit all the time. Don't avoid stairs. Don't put up with inflammation, because that damages your joints. Here's what you got to do. Call for your free consultation. 414-667-5559. QC Kinetics, 414-667-5559.
I'm not against shopping online. In fact, you can check out our huge selection at BurkhartSportingGoods.com. But when you're ready to buy, Burkhart should be your only stop. Because here, you can grab hold of the Midwest's largest selection of baseball bats, gloves, and equipment, and take all the swings you need in our indoor batting cages to make sure you buy the right bat. And when you buy your new mitt, we'll steam and custom fit it for you right on the spot. This is Brian Burkhart, and when you love baseball and softball like we do, you can't beat Burkhart. If you're in charge of uniforms and equipment, you want to get the most value for your team's budget. You want the most for your money, and you want the process to be easy. Because you already have enough on your plate. We get it. Burkhart Sporting Goods Team Outfitting Division is the best you'll find. With an abnormally high customer satisfaction rate and our own silk screening and embroidery facility for quality control. So if you want the highest quality team outfitting and incredible service, you can't beat Burkhart.
This is Bo from Ridgetop Exteriors. Your home should be the one place that you feel completely comfortable and safe. But old, drafty windows can steal that feeling. At Ridgetop Exteriors, we bring that peace of mind back. As Wisconsin's leading Pella Premier contractor, we install beautiful, secure windows and doors that can save you up to 40% on your energy bills. Get a home full of new Pella windows for as low as $198 a month. Learn more at ridgetopexteriors.com.
Ridgetop Exteriors.
Man, short show. Our show's already short. It cut us even shorter today.
Was that 2 weeks? No, 2 out of the last 3 weeks. Didn't we have a short show a couple weeks ago? Yeah.
Yes.
So. Yeah.
Yeah. So, but you're going to get a bonus pod if you listen and subscribe to our podcast. We do this thing called Overtime now. It used to be you need to listen, but it was like a separate thing. So then we made it one thing under one umbrella,
You can
under
still
Point
find it
Taken.
under the You Need to
can still
Listen
find
banner.
it. We just won an award for it. It's pretty good. But today we are going to talk about the question of who makes better parents, liberals or conservatives?
It's a good topic.
Steve tells me that he has an answer that he thinks is going to surprise me.
Yes, I think you will be, because I know you would. Again, I don't want to speak for you. Of course, conservatives make better parents. That's what you would say. I would say.
No, I think I give you
Oh.
more credit than that.
Are
I
you
feel like,
demonstrating an open mind?
well, no,
Kristen
I just
Bryan?
feel like you have often,
Nuance?
sometimes, depends on the topic, more
Nuance?
nuanced answers than that.
Okay.
Sometimes it's pretty.
Thank you for that compliment.
Sometimes it's a little smooth brain, but that's okay.
You heard it live, 11:27 on this
But
Wednesday.
I think this will be a good conversation. And then also we're adding on Ask Us Anything to the podcast. So
Yeah.
mailbag is called sometimes. So we have about 5-ish questions already submitted.
Yeah.
And if you would like to submit a question, we will then, because we also ask for emails, I will email you personally the podcast after
Wow.
we record it with the questions that are asked.
Look
so
at you, Miss Customer Service.
if you just text ASK, A-S-K, to 855-616-1620 and submit your questions before 12:15 today, because I think that's when we're going to go record, we will answer your questions, and then we'll do that every week.
So, do we remember what the question was for today? Or were we picking it right before? You threw a couple at me this morning.
Ones that have already been suggested?
Yeah.
Well, don't answer them now, because we're going to answer them
Okay.
on the
All right,
pod.
Yeah.
But one is, Steve, why not vote Democrat? Tiffany is a Trumper and election denier. It appears you respect Joel Brennan and other Democratic candidates for governor. Don't you believe that it's about the person, not the party?
Yeah. Like
So
you told me not to answer.
Steve will answer that
That's a good
on
question.
the podcast.
Yeah.
Someone also asked if we would answer the Colbert questionnaire.
So people know what that is.
So it's 13 questions that Colbert asks his guests.
Right.
Some people prepare, some people don't. I think we'll do that as a separate one.
Yeah. It's actually a good segment. I watched
It
some
is-
of those.
Yeah, it's good.
Yeah.
We'll do that maybe next week.
Yeah. That's a really
Um,
good one.
And
Although we're
there's one
stealing
about
from
Salute to
Colbert.
Heroes. There's one about Bill McCoshen.
Ooh.
So if you would like to ask us a question and have it answered today on our podcast, text ASK to 855-616-1620. And we are going to record that this afternoon because we have an early show.
And also, because I always start thinking about Friday with Bill and Joe before Friday comes or even Thursday comes. If you have things that you would like us to ask them, I got a couple on the text line today. You can
One's about the ballroom.
Yeah,
Someone
that's an
wanted
easy
us to
one.
ask them about the ballroom.
You can email me at steve.scafidi2fs1d at WTMJ.com. Just send me, hey, this is a thought for Bill and Joe. I'm more than happy to entertain it because we sort of cull the list on Thursday afternoon of the sort of the general topics we're going to go after. But if you have a good idea, to be completely honest, we don't think of everything. There's so much stuff coming at us fast and furious. We miss something. Or
There's also short segments.
Yeah. Which
sometimes we got jazz in the background saying we got to go break.
Yeah. That's her job.
It is her job. I'm not saying that she's not doing her
Seemed
job. I'm
very
just saying that
judgmental. Seemed very
the
judgmental.
commercials demand to be played.
All right, so we got Brewers coming up, and let's keep it going. I know they didn't win. Was it 2 days ago? But let's get it going. Was it 2 days ago? I think it was, right? This disjointed schedule with the rain delays and all that stuff. Anyway, Connie's going to give you the latest on local news, America's favorite newswoman. We got a Thursday with Jeremy Janine tomorrow. Who knows what topics he's going to cover? He was on fire last week.
I missed it. I also heard Todd made it to the tchotchke shop before you did.
Yeah, he did. I'm kind of embarrassed by that. So
You
I'm going to
should
I have to make a point to get out there. All right, before we get to any or all of that, thanks for the great show today. Here is now the latest from our great friends and journalists at ABC.
ABC News, I'm Chuck Sievertson. Project Freedom, the U.S. operation to escort ships through the Strait of Hormuz,
being suspended, says President Trump, to allow for more peace talks with Iran. In Tel Aviv, ABC's Tom Sufi-Burridge.
It doesn't appear to have given the confidence for enough commercial vessels to start making the journey. We only saw 2 U.S.-linked ships in the very initial phase. Yesterday, we saw absolutely no ships, as far as we're aware of, actually make the journey through the Strait of Hormuz.
3 people have died, 3 others getting evacuated off the Dutch cruise ship anchored off West Africa that health officials say has cases of hantavirus. So far, an update on Wall Street. TV superstation maker, cable news pioneer, sports team owner, much more. Ted Turner has died at 87. Asked once by ABC's Barbara Walters.
What's the best piece of advice you were given? Was there one?
Early to bed, early to rise, work like hell, and advertise.
Known as the Mouth from the South. This is ABC News.
Outdoor Living Unlimited, WTMJ News Time, 11:31. I'm Connie Weber. A man accused of trafficking a UW-Milwaukee student now in custody.
22-year-old Briar Meyer of Johnson Creek was arrested in Jefferson County last week. Court documents show Meyer met the female student on Snapchat in the fall of 2024 and stayed in her UWM dorm where he allegedly got her addicted to drugs. He then used her phone to solicit men for sex and record explicit videos for money. He's also accused of using her credit card and trying to open lines of credit in her name. Meyer faces 1 count of felony human trafficking. Neil Doyle, WTMJ News.
Milwaukee police asking for help identifying a suspect in a retail theft on the city's east side. Happened early Monday morning at the 7-Eleven on North Avenue. Police say the suspect jumped behind the counter, took items, then fled in a black Ford Mustang convertible. Nobody hurt. We do have photos of the suspect and more details on our website, WTMJ.com. Police identified a body found on the Lake Michigan shoreline in Racine. Wind Point police say Marquise D. Young's body washed ashore Saturday morning. 29-year-old Young from North Carolina had been missing since April 15th. He was visiting family in Wisconsin when he disappeared. No foul play is suspected. An inmate escaped from the Kenosha Correctional Facility. Police say 31-year-old Jonathan Taylor got out of the facility Tuesday afternoon. Unclear how he escaped, but law enforcement actively searching the area. Anybody with information on his whereabouts should contact Kenosha police. A man from Milwaukee faces charges for hitting a squad car and injuring an Oak Creek police officer. The officer spotted a car without plates on the Red Roof Inn near 13th and College April 18th. The man got into the car, backed into the squad, pinning the officer and a woman before driving off. The officer suffered a shattered toe. 31-year-old Antonio McAfee was arrested Monday and is charged with 3 felonies. Oak Creek police looking for the woman involved. More rescued beagles on their way to southeast Wisconsin. The Humane Animal Welfare Society says up to 20 dogs from Richland Farms will arrive at its Waukesha shelter early next week. Hawes spokesperson Jennifer Smeha tells WTMJ their focus will be getting the dogs healthy and ready for adoption.
These dogs probably have never seen things like hard surface floors, carpeting, probably have never heard a doorbell, or have probably not seen, vacuums, all those weird things. I'm guessing not a one of them knows how to walk up a flight of stairs.
Last week, Ridgeland Farms agreed to sell 1,500 dogs to rescue groups and surrender its state breeding license to avoid criminal prosecution. Wisconsin Department of Transportation warning drivers to stay alert as deer crashes increase this time of year. The DOT says deer activity typically spikes in May and June as animals move around more during birthing season. Preliminary data shows nearly 18,000 crashes involving deer reported in Wisconsin last year, causing 6 deaths and hundreds of injuries. Waukesha County recorded the highest number of deer crashes in the state. A home state talent begins his NFL journey with the Packers.
Minutes after the draft, New Glarus native Dane Walter received an invite to participate in the Packers rookie minicamp.
At these rookie minicamps, they usually want to test your mental before the physical, so we didn't get pads on. Still, that jersey, man, putting that thing on with the Walter on the back, can't beat it.
A 4-time All-American offensive tackle at UW La Crosse, Walter has been training with former NFL Defensive Player of the Year, TJ Watt.
It was one day where he was just like, Dane, don't ever doubt yourself.
Walter has a similar opportunity with the Bears this week. Greg Matzik, WTMJ News.
The professional women's hockey team is expanding to Detroit. On Wednesday, the league announced the new franchise will begin playing next season. Detroit becomes the PWHL's 9th team, with the league planning to add up to 3 more. The Pussycat Dolls have canceled their North American tour, which includes a planned stop on Milwaukee's lakefront. The group was scheduled to perform on Sunday, June 21st at the American Family Insurance Amphitheater. While that's the opening weekend of Summerfest, that day is technically not part of the festival. No word yet from Milwaukee World Festival on ticket refunds or if there are any plans for another show that night. Time for some news about your money with the WTMJ Annex Wealth Management Market Update. The Dow right now up 518 points, 49,816. The Nasdaq up 389 at 25,715. S&P 500 up 81 points, 7,340. Financial planning at every level. Annex Comprehensive Wealth, Annex Private Client, Annex Ignite. Details at annexwealth.com. Take a look at the roads with your WTMJ Time Saver traffic. Still a disabled vehicle. This is going to be on the ramp from Wisconsin Highway 20 to I-41 North. If you're in the area, watch out for that. Here's your WTMJ 5-day forecast. Partly cloudy today with a high of 54. It's going to be chilly overnight. Partly cloudy, maybe some frost possible, a low 38. Partly cloudy tomorrow with a chance for an afternoon or evening shower or storm. High Thursday, 56. Partly cloudy Friday, chance of showers and a high of 62. Saturday, mostly sunny, then storms by the evening, a high 66. Sunday, Mother's Day, chance of rain early with a high 58. Right now in Madison, we're at 48 degrees, still 46 in Green Bay, and in Milwaukee, we're at 51. Brewers baseball is up next. Outdoor Living Unlimited, WTMJ News Time, 11:37.
2026 Brewers Group tickets are on sale now, and planning your next event at American Family Field has never been easier. Whether it's a company outing, family reunion, or night out with friends, bring your group of 15 or more to the ballpark and enjoy up to 25% off single game tickets with no service fees. All Brewers home games are available now. Start planning today, and a Brewers Group ticket rep will handle the rest. But hurry, tickets are moving fast. Plan your 2026 outing at brewers.com/groups.
When it's time to explore assisted living, it's easy to feel overwhelmed. That's why we partnered with the American Seniors Housing Association to promote whereyouLiveMatters.org. I'm Mike from the Wisconsin Assisted Living Association. For over 30 years, our organization of more than 2,000 facility members has led through advocacy, education, and support to help advance quality care. That's why Wisconsin families trust WALA. When it's time to search for assisted living for yourself or a loved one, visit whereyouLiveMatters.org.
Vince Vitrano for Hunt's Flooring in Greenfield. You should see what our new floors look like. And you can. But let's talk about you first. Whether you want to tighten things up before selling your house or you want to be more comfortable in your forever home, start at Hunt's Flooring. Our new hardwood floors are in. We could not be happier that we chose local, family-owned Hunt's Flooring. Text FLOOR to 855-616-1620 and I'll send you the before and after pics. Hunt's is ready for your project right now. Tell them Vinny sent you. Highway 100 in Greenfield, huntsflooring.com.
Wisconsin's Morning News is here for you